Thankfully, it's not very strong wind today. Most of the games that we play here at home, we have very strong winds, but there is a present wind, but I don't think it'll be too big a factor. Like when the varsity played Marist, it was basically one half you couldn't kick because the wind was 20 plus miles per hour in your face, and then the other half, if you kicked, it was going out the back of the try zone if you weren't careful. But I think that this game, it's not nearly as hard, so I think that the wind won't be too big a factor.
Yeah, it was Marist the game where the ball ended up in the cornfield over on our left like 3 or 4 times?
Yeah, and I had to go chase it, and it's not really fun hopping over corn stalks because if you trip, they will hurt really badly. I don't know why we didn't have a sub go over and grab it for me, like behind me in case I missed it, but I just ended up going and grabbing it.
Wow. Well, at least from a broadcaster's perspective, we usually have wind at our home games, but nothing will ever compare to SLU over in Springfield. At least
Absolutely
I hope
not.
SLU was, I think Mr. Gazzoli and I have mentioned it every game we've done since then. SLU was, it was cold and windy.
It was so cold. It was so windy. After the varsity game, when we watched the JV game, I actually built myself a little shelter out of the rucking pads to block myself from the wind. I just kind of cowered under that until we were ready to leave because it was not fun. And kicking and even passing, the wind was so strong, even just passing was hard to do if you're going into the wind. So that game was basically all forward ball. And the forwards did a great job. I think everyone that scored was a forward just because they were the only ones that were able to get anything done that game.
But hey, even though it was cold and miserable, we won both JV and varsity, so it was good.
Absolutely.
Looks like the Sir is talking to Coach Mike Vitry now. Hopefully we'll get going soon. Guess we'll let you know about some other rugby excitement going on. Unfortunately, just because of not a whole lot of equipment, we won't be able to stream, or I don't know if we'll even be able to post these games, but the Seaside is currently heading up to Elkhart, Indiana to play in the Midwest tournament. Only sending the Seaside this year. Usually Midwest has A, B, and Seaside. Only sending the Seaside this year, but Midwest, it's a really good event. A lot of really good rugby. They'll be playing, I believe, 3 games over the next 2 days against some of the really good Midwestern teams. So we wish them the best of luck. I'm sure they'll do a good job. They've done a really good job so far this season.
Right, Seaside undefeated right now in league play. They've had 3 or 4 games, I believe, and they've won all of them by at least 30 points. I think they're averaging like 37 points per game right now. And, you know, they're going out into Midwest. They're going to be playing some pretty serious teams, St. Ignatius, St. Edwards, 2 of the really big Ohio teams. So we'll see how they fare against some higher level competition.
Yep.
So the Sir did a boot check for La Salette, and now he's just talking to the players, and he's already done that with CRC, so hopefully that'll be the last thing he needs to do. I don't know if he's done the captain's meeting yet, so he'll probably actually have to do that after he's done talking to the teams, but hopefully the amount of time that he's devoting to this means that he's a good ref and will have a good game today.
Yeah, and hopefully this time up front means there will be less penalties, less dirty play, and hopefully that just means the game moves that much quicker.
Right, we're La Salette this year thanks to all the extra rules education, or I should say laws education that we've put in. We've done really well with penalties. Aside from Marist, we kind of struggled with offsides, but other than that, everyone from C-side up to A-side, we've given up probably half as many penalties every game as the other team, and it just seems like this year people actually know what to do. They actually know what the situation is rather than just relying on you know, the couple people that know what they're doing to kind of run the show.
Yeah, what I've noticed, a lot of teams, so we haven't had a lot of rugby, at least in Illinois, for the last several years because of COVID. Last full season was 2019, so you have a lot of inexperienced people who don't really know the game of rugby. So other teams, they commit a lot of penalties, but La Salette, even though they're not experienced, a lot of people have studied the game well and are well prepared. And hopefully that continues. Hopefully we continue to see the results for that for the rest of the year. Hopefully it comes in really clutch during the state tournament. Some of those tight games, we could win or lose by penalties.
So La Salette for this game has a couple players on the JV team missing because there's several juniors who are taking the SAT right now, actually. So that's Ben Halligan, the starting scrum half, isn't here, as well as Vincent Boozing, the flanker, and there's someone else.
Luke Pedry, I believe.
Luke Pedry, right. He's the wing. So that's 3 starters that are missing. But we do have Chris Halligan, the A-side starter, who he's played some scrum half, and right now he's starting at wing. But for B-side today, he'll be playing 9. And then a couple other subs have stepped in to play for those players that are missing the game right now. They might be able to come in. I'm not sure if they get here in the middle of the game, if they'll be able to play, but hopefully they will get a chance to play.
Yeah. I think when I did the SAT earlier this year, I got back about 1 o'clock, so they could be back for the second half. Hopefully they've done well on the SAT.
That might have been, I mean, for us at least, that might be a good thing if the ref's taking so long, because that's just buying us more time. The later we start, the more time we have for those players to get back.
Yep.
Will Dvorak, the A-side flanker, is also taking the spot today of number 5. He's going to get some extra reps in leading up to the state tournament, just because he's missed a lot of playing time with a broken toe earlier in the season. So he's going to get some playing time today.
Yep.
Working some extra reps. And then Derwin Wilson, who is the A-side wing, will be playing outside center today. Same thing with him. He needs to get a little bit of extra practice as well as filling in for those missing players. So we're meeting with the captains right now, and they're running back to their respective sides after the coin toss, so we should be getting set up now. Captain Daryl Wang is explaining which side we're on. Looks like we're going to be on the other side.
So playing left to right. So CRC definitely looks like they've got a lot of big people, but that's a common advantage that a lot of teams have over us. But our B side has shown their skill this year. Hopefully we can take the size. I'm sure we can.
So it looks like we're kind of confused about who's kicking off.
Yeah.
CRC
is taking the ball.
And La Salette's now running back to get set for the kickoff. So La Salette will receive to start, and as we learned from the varsity game against Nequa, receiving the ball to start can really start the game off well if you can score on your first possession, because if you let the other team score first, then you're already at a deficit. Even once you score first yourselves, then you're bringing the game back to even. So we received the ball at Nequa, and then after we held them off at the goal line, we took it down and we scored, and that started off just a really good game that the A-side played. So hopefully B-side can do the same thing right now.
Yep. Number 15 for CRC is getting ready to kick off. Their fullback. Definitely taking his time.
I think we're waiting for the ref. He was getting his warm-up suit off, and it looks like he's putting some sunscreen on.
Yep.
Guess the ref's just kind of playing by his own time right now.
Yep, that's fine.
Just like in a game, you know, the official time is what's on the ref's watch, so a little metaphorical.
And the ref is heading onto the field.
We haven't had this ref for any of our games this season, so we don't know what caliber he is, but we can hope for the best. The Lions' back line of the fullback and 2 wings is Sam Betts, Daniel Bergman, and Rylan Todd. They're in the back awaiting the kick. I don't know. The wind just has picked up, so I don't know if the ball will get back to them, but if we can get it, especially to number 14, Sam Betts, he just has a lot of speed, and that would be great to take it down the field quickly. I think that just looking at this CRC team, they might be more athletic because they definitely look more built. At least the backs do. The forwards are just kind of big. But the backs definitely look more built than our backs. But I'm guessing that we're probably going to be a much better rugby team. Even if they're more athletic, I think that we'll be better in that regard.
Probably better trained for rugby and better conditioned.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got a kickoff. It's taken in by Kenny Simmons. And he makes some ground before going down right past the 10-meter. Was doing a little bit with the forwards.
Kenny Simmons with a nice quick pick and go. The Lions struggle with getting those pick and goes quickly. We tend to take a little bit too much time, but he did a good job of getting that out really quickly, and now there'll be a knock on CRC. They took the ball away in the ruck, but they knocked it, so Lions will get a scrum. If I was La Salette, I would definitely kick right now because they have the wind in their favor. They could put it deep into the 22 and maybe even get it out and get the ball back.
Yep.
But it doesn't look like they're gonna kick. I'm guessing that they're gonna run one of their trick plays. The B side's been practicing some trick plays in practice, and the A side's played against them, and they're pretty good with that.
Yeah.
So
and any of those or just a basic back run would be fine because we're doing good on territory right now.
Mm-hmm.
Scrum is easily won by the Lions. Goes to Sam Betts. He gets tackled. Doesn't gain a whole lot of territory on that.
That pass goes about 10 meters straight backwards. They were far too deep, and so we just managed to break gain line again with Pat Duggan with a nice run.
Yep. At least maintaining territory, not gaining a whole lot right now.
Matthew Mayer tries to break through, but gets tackled, but a nice offload to Duran Wilson, who takes in, gets tackled. So the Lions have worked their way all the way to the far sideline without getting forward at all, but Chris Halligan with a box kick to about the 50, and we were playing advantage, so we're going to come back for the penalty around the 40. That's going to be an offsides penalty.
Chris Halligan is going to take the penalty. I'm guessing it's going to be a quick tap.
Right, I don't think that that there's really a kicker who's going to get it into touch with this wind.
Yep.
So I think that that's a good call.
And the quick tap is going to the forwards. Pretty good forward run there. Gets almost to the halfway. And Braden Wall gets it to the 50. Nice little offload by Duran Wilson to Marcus Broussard. Gets about 5 meters on that phase.
If the Lions can work it back to the right side really quickly, then we'll be able to score, because if you can see, there's basically no defense out on that right side. And Matthew Romero is doing just that, going down the sideline. He's got 2 to beat.
Tackled very close to the sideline. Sam Betts takes it away quickly.
Great run by Matthew Romero to make the defense pay for bunching up.
Yep.
And we might be able to set that up again because there's not very many people to the left side of the field. Daryl Wang swings it to the forwards. Pat Duggan takes it. Gets tackled at the opposing 22.
Yeah, honestly, we could use the backs on either side and we would have an overload on them.
Duran Wilson misses a tackle, pass it to Daniel Bergman, but he knocks it on.
Yep. So CRC will have their first scrum of the day, close to the 22. This will be the first time we see them doing any serious offense. They did have that one steal that caused them to get a knock on, but this will be their first real offensive phase, so we'll see how they do with it.
Lions defense is getting into position right now. There's a lot of space on the outside, so hopefully they can stop the ball before it gets outside. 8-man pick, but Chris Halligan and Braden Wall are able to, or I'm sorry, Chris Halligan and Ben Stafke are able to bring him down.
Yep.
That was a big boy right there.
And a penalty awarded to CRC for, I believe, diving into the ruck. Kick doesn't quite make it to touch, and I believe Rylan Ta takes it up and starts running along the sideline. Evades several tackles before getting taken down. Manages to get into a good pencil shape for placing. And a pretty good kick there by Matt Romero. Looks like it's going to the try zone. And CRC touches it down.
It's going to be a goal line drop for CRC. That wasn't a bad play what CRC did off of that penalty because they kicked it very quickly, and because Rylan wasn't set up, they were almost able to squeak it past him and then get up to the ball. Thankfully, he was able to recover it, but that was just Rylan not quite responding to the penalty quickly enough and getting to his position on the sideline.
Yeah, but it worked out for us. Kick doesn't go very far, but looks like there must have been a knock on.
Yeah.
It's going to be a scrum on the 5 meter to the to CRC.
CRC right there. I'm not sure if that was a plan or if it was just a bad kick, but they were able to put a kick really low and really hard to handle, which if Pat Duggan had been able to field that cleanly, would have put the Lions only 5 meters out, but he wasn't expecting it. He was expecting it to go over his head, and so he knocked it, and CRC will get the ball again. Yep. However, their fly half right now is standing in his try zone, so if the Lions can run up quickly on defense, we'll be able to make something happen.
8-man pick, doesn't go very far. Yeah, so we're on defense, but this is about the best place to be on the field on defense.
Lions poach the ball and get it back.
Yep.
They're working on the far side of the field, about 15 meters out. Chris Halligan picks it, passes to Daryl Wang.
And it goes out to Daniel Bergman. And he's in the try zone heading for the center. And a dead center try.
Really nice play by the Lions. Chris Halligan was aware that there was a defensive opening, so he just took it right through the hole and then quickly got to Daryl Wang, and he got to Bergman, and that's an easy try for the Lions. So 5-0 right now, with about as straight a kick as you can get.
Yep. So Daniel Bergman is going to try to convert his own try. Is Daniel the regular kicker for Division II, or is it Ben?
It's normally Ben Halligan, but
okay.
It's going to be Daniel. I don't know why he's kicking from the 22. Of course, you can get as close as you want. I don't know, maybe it's the wind, but I think he's making this kick a lot harder than he needs to make it. It does look like CRC is going to run up, though.
Okay. Yeah, to be honest, running up on a kick, hardly anybody ever actually is able to swap the ball or anything. It usually is just basically an intimidation.
The referee's clarifying to them. Oh no, he's having the. It looks like he's having the touch judge hold the post to keep them from moving in the wind. I don't know how much that's going to do, but
Yeah, I don't think that would help much. These posts are tall. And the kick is good. So that leaves us with a score of 7-0, with the Lions in the lead. Forgot to start my watch, so I'm not sure how far into the game we are, but I'm guessing about 10 minutes. So having just scored the try, Lions will be receiving the kick again. So hopefully we can just keep this cycle going. Kenny Simmons takes the kick again. Looks like CRC's kicking as might be pretty predictable.
Takes it in, and now the Lions picking and going. Braden Wall gains 5 yards, and now Chris Halligan takes it out and takes it himself. He gains another 5 meters.
This is how we do it. Just gain a few meters on each phase. We can take it all the way down the field.
All the forwards in, and Kenny Simmons passes it out to the backs. They're getting it, working it down the back line real quickly. And Matthew Merrill gets it out to Daniel Bergman again, who's streaking down the field, and it looks like he's going to be in for another try. Wow. The Lions forwards able to suck in the CRC defense, and then the ball went to the backs, and it was just quick work. Matthew Merrill doing a nice job drawing in the last defender, and outside that defender, there was another 3. There's another 3 Lions backs on offense, and they just got to Daniel Bergman, and he took it into high gear and took it 50 yards for a try.
Yep. Nice wide fields, backs that can pass it down quickly, and defense that gets sucked in. Perfect recipe for us.
Absolutely.
All right, so we'll see if Daniel Bergman can convert his second try of the day. We'll see what CRC learns from this try and see if their defense improves, their outside defense improves at all, or if we just keep having the same thing over and over again. And the kick is good again. So we've got 14-0. See if this next kick goes to Kenny Simmons.
Last time the kick came really quickly and almost unexpected. CRC 15 lining up to take it.
Referee wants to make sure everyone's on sides. Okay, goes a little bit further away from Kenny Simmons. This time Daniel Bergman gets it. He kind of drifts toward the sideline. And we're doing a few pick and goes with our forwards to start off again.
Pat Duggan goes into contact high and gets picked up. And the ref is once again going to penalize CRC for being offside.
Yep. Daryl Wang's taking it. With Daryl Wang, and right here looks like he's kicking to touch. Doesn't go far before going into touch. It'll be Lions line out between the 10 and the 50.
Lions opting for the full line out. All 7 forwards in. Pat Duggan the thrower. CRC opting not to match numbers. They've only got 5 forwards in the lineouts, leaving 2 to join the defensive line.
Kenny Simmons jumps, takes it fairly easily, hands it right to Chris Halligan. Goes down the back line. Bergman manages to catch a pretty high pass there. Marcus Broussard takes it, gains about 5 meters.
Will Dvorak with a big run, not willing to go down. It takes several CRC players to bring him down. And now Daniel Duggan wrestling for some more meters. He gets about 4. Marcus Broussard breaks the line again. The Lions forwards just picking and just CRC unable to stop them. But it's going to be a penalty for La Salette. If they can swing it out here quickly, then they should score again. There's no defense out there. But the ref's going to call it back. Looks like he wasn't happy with where Chris tapped it.
Okay. This could get CRC a bit of an advantage here. They might see what we were going to do and spread the field out a little bit. Looks like their defense is out a little further, but hopefully we can still make something. Using our forwards instead of backs this time. Staying in the middle, but we're getting close to the 5 meter at this point.
Will Dvorak with another big carry.
And he's in the try zone.
Will Dvorak, a force to be reckoned with out on the pitch right now. He's just too big and too strong for CRC. And he puts the Lions up 19-0.
Yep. Not quite as easy of a kick, but we'll see what happens here.
Bergman, of course, being left-footed, the left side of the field is his weak side. It's always a tougher angle going from the left side.
And once again, he's kicking from pretty far out. More understandable because of the angle this time, but do you ever kick from outside the 22?
I've done that when it was basically on the sideline.
Okay.
But other than that, I don't really ever kick from outside the 22, at least not this far outside.
Yeah. Just make life easy on yourself. And the touch judge says that kick is no good.
So the score remains 19-0, but the CRC forwards are looking pretty tired. They were dropping to one knee after that try.
Yep.
And they're slowly meandering back to the kickoff.
And we've got a kickoff. Goes to Daryl Wang right in the center, and he kicks it back.
Smart play. The CRC didn't leave anyone back there. Now it's one wing fielding it. He knocks it. Ooh. Chris Halligan goes it, and he knocks it as well, but hopefully the Sir saw that first knock. He didn't, so we'll play the scrum to CRC.
Well, we've been in a similar situation to this today, where it's their scrum, but in their 22, and we managed to take it away after a little bit. Hopefully the same happens right here. As I said then, this is the best place on the field to be on defense. Lions are driving that scrum back, but CRC does manage to take it, and they kick it. Derwin Wilson takes it in, running really towards the sideline, not much forward motion there.
He passes out to Daniel Bergman, who loses it forwards. I think the Lions managed to pick it back up because the Sir calls the scrum to CRC, but that scrum is just inside the scrum zone. The back line for CRC is probably going to be in the try zone.
Yep. So they'll probably try to do the same thing again where they kick it out, and hopefully we can see a similar situation just without the knock-on. Guess that scrum wasn't good enough for the Sir's satisfaction. Calls it back up, and we're resetting. And it looks like the scrum half, when it got passed to him, knocked it on. And we've got a scrum to the Lions.
Very favorable position for the Lions, and they might not even have to swing it out if they'll crash one of their inside backs. So maybe Matthew Romero, if CRC decides to overplay, if they're expecting the Lions to swing it out as they have been all game, they can just take it right up the center and go for the score. Or
possibly
we might see
an eight-man
pick. Exactly, right.
Yep. If this was varsity, I'm almost certain we would see an 8-man pick from Mark Shea. Not sure with Braden Wall. Oh, it's going to the backs to Derwin Wilson. Looks like they're gonna take it most of the way to the side, but CRC manages to steal it off a not very good pass.
And the ref calls 2 knock-ons. He's gonna play the first one, and CRC will get the scrum again. So, unfortunately, a mistake for Matthew Romero, because that was a good play. Another one of the Lions' trick plays that they've been working on, and he got within about 3 meters and then tried to offload, but there was no one there, so he just kind of threw it into space, and CRC ended up with the ball.
Yep. Hopefully we can break this cycle sometime soon where we just go back and forth on scrums within the 22. Hopefully we can, they're probably going to kick it after this. Hopefully we can get that and score a try off of it.
8-man picks it up and passes it to the 9. Chris Halligan's right there, and they force another kick right to Daniel Bergman, who's been CRC's enemy, and he's taking it down the sideline.
Gets tackled just outside the 5. Sam Betts gets about another meter. And we're doing a bit of a forwards crash, close to the middle. And Bill Dvorak gets to the try zone. So, second try for Will Dvorak today. That gets us a score of 24-0. This is about close to the same field position as Will Dvorak's last try, except just on the other side. A little closer to the center, but not much. We'll see what Daniel Bergman manages to do with this kick. Looks like CRC has no interest in running up on this one. And the kick is good. So we're at 26-0 at 20 minutes into the game. Lions are already well set up, and CRC is just taking their time. Their kicks are very reliable. They go about the same distance, and some were close or a little off from the center of the field. Derwin Wilson sends it to Marcus Broussard, and he gets right about to the 50. Kenny Simmons gets it just a little bit further. As usual, using our forwards for a few phases.
If we can swing it out right now. Oh.
No, we can't. CRC manages to poach it or something, create a turnover.
This is the first time that we've really seen CRC have any offense other than just scrums and a quick kick.
Yep.
And I'm guessing that with the forwards being as tired as they are, they won't be very quick to support and we'll be able to poach.
Yep. Looks like one of the CRC players is on the ground. He's getting back up slowly. CRC has managed to get it out close to the sideline, but we're keeping it close to the 50. Our defense is taking them really well.
Rylan Taw with a strong tackle, but we're going to call it back. The serve is playing advantage. He's
like there was an offsides.
Right, and now their 9 quick taps it and passes it out to their wing.
He tries to stiff arm Sam Betts. He's getting some meters there. Their 18 knows how to dance around a little bit. But the Lions do manage to get him down.
And there is once again advantage. That might have been not back 10 on Sam Betts, but he did the right thing by going ahead and making the contact just to keep him from scoring.
Yep. Looks like 18 is a little bit athletic if he can do what he did, but with this team, they're not getting it out to him very often, so his capabilities are not very well used.
Number 16, who's a sub that came into the game after that last try, has a big carry.
Kenny Simmons takes him down, makes it look easy.
And then Salette puts some pressure in the ruck and is able to drive CRC back.
I don't know, the ref can see better than me, but it really looks like CRC is rucking from their knees a lot. You've got to support your weight.
Tightness. Sparza with a strong tackle is driving number 7 back.
Gets him back like 5 meters. And we've got a penalty awarded to the Lions. Not releasing, it looks like. Chris Halligan's taking the quick tap, gives it to Daryl Wang. And he's sending it out to the backs to Daniel Bergman,
who gets free again and is going down the sideline, 15 to beat. And he does that. Daniel Bergman running down the sideline, and he's in for the hat trick.
Doesn't score it right in the middle, but that's another try. Third time we've seen basically the exact same thing from Daniel Bergman. Who knows if CRC will ever learn their lesson on that.
That was a real smart play by Chris Halligan. They were right outside their 22, a position where you would just, I guess, automatically kick to touch, but he looked up, saw that CRC had no defense on the left side, and just passed it right out, and that resulted in another score. So that's 31-0 for Salette.
So Daniel Bergman is kicking from the 22 again. A little off to the left side of the post. And touch judge Mark Shea says the kick is no good. Looks to me like the touch judge that CRC is providing isn't even trying to judge the kicks. He's just standing with the team and not even really looking. So that leaves us with a score of
33.
Yep.
31, I'm sorry.
31.
Right, yep.
31-0. 5 tries and 3 kicks. That kick does not go 10 meters.
But Chris Halligan picks it up nonetheless and still gets to the 50, which seems to be what all the Lions have done on the kick returns.
Yep.
CRC finally able to stop the Lions' pick and goes.
Yep. Lose a little bit of ground on a few of those phases there.
But it's going to be a penalty for not releasing on Daniel Duggan. CRC hopefully won't go quick, but they are.
And the big number 1 is crashing it. Takes a little while for the Lions to get him down. And it looks like there's been a knock on.
Lions will get the ball back at the middle of the field. I would say the one downside of this is that they can't spread their backs out all the way and just beat the CRC on the outside like they've been doing, but maybe they have a trick play and they can swing the field while the ball's in the scrum.
Yep. Looks like they're taking their time getting the scrum set up. Finally getting started. CRC scrums definitely are a lot higher than La Salette's. Like their flankers and 8-man play from their feet instead of from their knees. And we're using the back line. Matthew Romero puts up a pretty high kick, gets it a little past the 50. And Sam Betts recovers it, runs along the sideline, almost gets tackled into touch. Hands it off to Derwin Wilson, and that gets dropped and recovered by CRC.
Lions defense is sucked in right now, but Daniel Duggan gets the ball back in the ruck. And Lions have advantage as well.
Yep.
And they might be able to beat them on the outside. They aren't spread. Will Dvorak has the ball. Passes off to Matthew Romero, who gets tackled. And we're going to go back for advantage, I think. We're going to play the penalty. But that's going to be the end of the first half.
Yep. All right. Running the first half with a score of 31-0. Been all Lions today so far. We'll see if CRC can get it together after the half, or it's just going to stay Lions all day. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back after halftime in about 5 to 10 minutes. So hope you'll be back then, and we'll see you here. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. That was a very quick halftime. Not sure exactly how much time is legally allotted for halftime, but I'm sure we didn't use all of it. That was only like 3 or 4 minutes. We're getting ready for the kickoff again. Matt Romero is going to be kicking for the Lions. We've got some subs in. Hugh O'Neill, I believe, is in for Will Dvorak, and then John Mawhinney is in for Chris Halligan. So I'm not sure who's going to be playing scrum half now. I don't think John Mawhinney is going to be, but we'll see. And the kick goes right down the middle. CRC takes it in well. And the Lions get him down before the 10-meter.
Lions defense is kind of shabby on the left side. Hopefully CRC won't break through, but Tightness Bars is there for the tackle, so I don't think anyone's going to get through that.
Oh, yeah.
Derwin Wilson able to slow down the big guy, and Hugh O'Neill comes in to finish him and dumps him backwards.
Yep. Looks like CRC is content to just use their forwards for a few phases.
That looked like a forward pass to me, but
I think that was actually just a handoff. don't think there was actually any pass there.
Daryl Wang tries to jump the passing lane, but he misses, and thankfully Kenny Simmons was there to cover his hole.
Yep. Looks like we're using the backs for the first time, but it does not go out very far. And we've got a whistle.
Forward pass.
So it's going to be a scrum to the Lions. CRC just can't seem to stay on offense for very long. So it looks like Daniel Bergman, who was playing 15 earlier and is in fact still wearing the 15 jersey, is playing a scrum half now that Chris Halligan is out.
And then Derwin has moved to 12, Ryland's moved to 13, Matt Romero's at 15, and then Mawhinney is in at wing.
Yep.
So I think that Coach Michael Vitry had that planned out, and he was able to get his 2 subs in at halftime.
Yeah.
Still no sign of the juniors, who, as we mentioned before, are out taking the SAT, so I doubt they'll get to play today.
Yeah. And the scrum is easily taken by the Lions. And Derwin Wilson running down the center of the field does a little handoff after he gets tackled. And Ryland Ta takes it down the side, manages to get quite a few meters before getting tackled.
Forward crash to Braden Wall. He has a nice little run, but is brought down by his ankles.
And we've got a penalty awarded to the Lions.
For a high tackle, the Lions need to swing it out right now. There's no one on the far side, but Daniel Bergman crashes the forwards.
Yep. Hopefully CRC will stay sucked in and we see our opportunity, but there was another opportunity there. Pat Duggan gets it quite a few meters in the center. Almost to the 5 meter.
The Lions picking and going, trying to get into the try zone,
yep.
But CRC doing a good job holding them up. They can't seem to get closer than 5 meters.
Holding them up, and it looks like CRC is also trying to contest a few rucks. Using our backs now, Ryland Ta not quite making that last pass to John Mawhinney. He gets almost to the try zone, doesn't quite make it. I think there might have been a forward pass there.
The ball pops out of the ruck. I'm not really sure who it was that threw it out.
Yep.
But it looks like the referee is going to play a scrum to CRC at the 5.
Yep.
So the Lions unable to capitalize on a couple big plays. Pat Duggan's run, if he had just, I mean, it's easy to say afterwards, you know, you have to make a quick decision, but that was their tiny little wing who was in the back, and I think that if Pat Duggan just lowered his shoulder, he might have been able to just run right through him.
Yep. Well, this is a fine place to be. We saw this several times in the first half. They get a scrum down on the 5 meter, but as I said, best place on the field to be on defense, and we should be able to do something with this. Looks like CRC had a sub come in one of the forward positions. CRC manages to take the scrum, does a fairly deep kick. Matthew Romero's going for it. Doesn't quite get it on the first time, but he does recover it. Runs down the sideline, breaks several tackles, is finally taken down right by the 22. And we've got a penalty awarded to CRC.
I think that was that Romero kept rolling. He used more than his one move allotted to him.
Okay.
I'm not really sure what that signal was, but he was moving his hand in a circle, so I'm guessing that's what it meant.
Yep. So CRC gets it into touch. That was a fairly good kick because it was close to the sideline, but he managed to get it down quite a few meters. So it'll be a CRC lineout just past the halfway. And it looks like CRC has another sub coming in, again, I believe in a forward position. And the Lions are figuring out exactly what numbers they have to match in the lineout. Looks like CRC is doing a 5-man, and La Salette is matching. Ball goes to the front man in the lineout, not even going for a jumper, but he knocks it on right away, so it's going to be the Lions scrum on the 15. Looks like every time CRC gets an opportunity like that, they always manage to foul it up in some way, and it ends up being an opportunity for the Lions. The referee is getting CRC back on sides where they belong.
La Salette's really deep, I think deeper than they need to be. The pass from Daniel Bergman takes Daryl Wang backwards. And Derwin Wilson takes it up the inside.
Breaks several tackles before getting tackled at the 22. Really late tackle against Daniel Bergman there after he had passed it. A little bit of a fake looking, trying to make CRC think we were going to do a forwards crash, but it goes to one of the backs. And a forward pod with Daniel Duggan takes it in.
I think it's probably due to the fact that Daniel Bergman's playing scrum half, but if you notice, back when Chris Halligan was playing scrum half, the Lions would work it all the way from one end to the field to the other, but right now they're within like the middle 20 meters side to side.
Yep. And Titan Esparza did not want to go down. That takes a while to get him tackled. And the Lions are just doing a few forwards pick and goes. And it's buying us a few meters.
CRC defense is pretty sucked in on the left side, but there's not a whole lot of room to work with. So the Lions are bringing it all the way to the sideline, hopefully, and are now passing it out. Daniel Bergman passes it out, but CRC is running up quickly on defense.
Oftentimes with a fly half, he'll just do an initial distribution of the ball, getting it to the back line, but what we're seeing with Daryl Wang today, he'll be right there with anyone who he passes the ball to, and he might get it again and then keep passing it down the back line. Definitely a fairly good fly half there. So we had a knock on there. And we're going to have a scrum to CRC. One of the CRC guys is offsides right now. Hopefully the ref notices. In fact, 2 of them are.
8-man pick. Matthew O'Mara goes for the tackle, but isn't able to make it. John Mawhinney as well fails to bring him down, but then Daniel Bergman and Daniel Duggan are able to finally bring him down near the sideline.
Daryl Wang goes for the poach, but knocks it on. So CRC will get it back with a scrum within our 22.
So hopefully CRC doesn't go with another 8-man pick. It looks like with all their subs, their number 1 is playing 8-man.
Yep, and he's definitely one of the biggest threats on their team. Big guy and hard to take down, kind of like our Titan Esparza.
And he does take it, but Daniel Duggan goes in for the tackle.
Daniel Duggan is not very big, but he's tough and strong, and he poaches it. Gets to the 22.
Kenny Simmons clears out, and La Salette's able to establish a firm ruck.
CRC is trying to counter ruck, though. Sorry for the bad audio for a few seconds. Hopefully we've got that squared away now. Yeah. So we've got another scrum to CRC. I would guess we're probably going to see the same 8-man pick, but hopefully we'll be ready for it this time. And I was wrong. They're passing it out to the backs. I guess they're trying to not be too reliable.
La Salette getting the knock-on advantage, and they're taking it down the field. Marcus Broussard takes a little while, and now I believe that's Daniel Duggan with another great carry.
And we've got our backs taking it down the field on the right side. Matt Romero gets tackled close to the sideline.
The ball's buried in the ruck, though.
Yeah, one of those CRC guys is not wanting to get out. But they managed to take it away. Bit of a messy ruck there, but CRC does manage to take it away.
That should have been a penalty. What happened right there was that the CRC player tackled Romero, and he just kind of sat on him, rolled over, and then ended up with the ball.
Yep.
But Daniel Duggan poaches it. That's his second or third poach. Second in about 2 minutes.
Yep.
Q O'Neill gets it, but gets driven back. And now the Lions trying to swing it out. Daryl Wang, however, gets taken down, but offloads it to Kenny Simmons, who's going down. He offloads it to Duran Wilson. He gets it to Rylan. If Rylan can just get it to Sam, we can score on the outside, but he does not do that. Daryl fakes with a pass, and now Hugh O'Neill has the ball. Is streaking for the try zone, and he's going to be in.
And he makes it.
Wow.
Right in the middle. And 2 of the CRC guys are on the ground. Not sure what's up with them. CRC is definitely very slow getting to where they're supposed to be behind the posts. Should be an easy kick for Daniel Bergman here, right in the middle. Trainers coming onto the field to see to CRC's number 13.
Daniel Bergman finally tees it up closer to the post, and I'm wondering if the reason he was teeing it up so far away on the other side was because he was compensating for the wind.
And the kick is good.
So I count right now 5 CRC players that are on the ground. I don't know if they're injured, but they're just kind of sitting there waiting to get going.
Yep.
The kick is through, so they have 60 seconds to kick?
Yeah, I believe so.
60 seconds to kick. If they don't do it, then it'll be Lions' option for a scrum or a re-kick, but they were waiting for their player to get helped off the field by Chris Halligan and the trainer.
So as of right now, we've got a score of 38-0. A little bit slower on the tries from La Salette second half, but I would say that's due in large part to not having Chris Halligan in the game. Daniel Bergman, he's a pretty good player, but he hasn't been trained a lot as a scrum half, so he's doing all right, but he hasn't had quite as many smart plays as Chris Halligan did. And CRC's kickoff doesn't get very far. Daniel Duggan recovers it. Almost gets to the 22. Looks like Daniel Duggan got hit. Referee's calling the trainer onto the field.
You could see when he went into contact, once he got hit, I didn't realize that was why it was, but he immediately just kind of let go of the ball and went forward, so I was wondering what happened, but he's injured. That was a very smart play by him, though. The ball was kicked near Titan Esparza, but he wasn't quite sure what to do with it. It seemed he just kind of walked near it, but Duggan was alert and he came in to grab it.
So time is off right now. We'll see what happens here. Referee is allowing both teams to bring on water. All right, so we're going to take a quick break for a few minutes. Not sure how long this is going to be, but we'll be back with you as soon as anything happens. So we'll see you here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, time is back on. Chris Halligan and Mike Vitri are helping Dan Duggan off the field. Not sure exactly what's up. Let's see. Can you tell who is subbed in for him?
It must be Will Dvorak must be coming back into the game. Yeah, right, because he was the only other sub besides Chris Halligan.
Yeah, and he's the only forward sub. And we're restarting with the scrum. Yeah, it almost looked as if there might have been a knock on just as that was ending.
Right, but it's just whether the ref is going to call that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he actually called something there or
if he was just
after he calls something for injury time. A scrum is just often the best and most even way to restart something. But it's, in any case, it's CRC's scrum here. Right inside the 5 meter. CRC's 8 passes it to 9, and they're taking it down their back line. Salette tries to contest that ruck, doesn't quite get it. 9 kicks it, and he comes away with it. CRC knocks it. Almost looked as if he recovered it, but I guess he did not. So it'll be a scrum to the Lions, close to the 22. Daniel Bergman's feeding the ball into that scrum. Comes out, he passes it to Daryl Wang. He's sending it down the back line to Derwin Wilson. And he offloads to Daryl Wang. We're seeing that same thing where our fly half is always there. And we've got a whistle and a penalty.
Obstruction.
Yep. CRC's 9 takes it, gains quite a few meters. Lions defense didn't come up very hard on that. Looks like the people who are taking the SAT are back. See Vincent Boozing here, but we're far enough into the game. Looks like they're not going to be playing today. But that's okay, because even without him, we're winning by a ton.
Good tackle, Will Dvorak and Rylan Taw in there to drive the big CRC player back, but now number 4 is breaking through. Daniel Bergman misses the tackle. He trips over a fellow Lions player, and that's going to be a try for CRC.
CRC's first try. And I honestly don't know how their kicking game is. Their in-game punts haven't been incredibly good. I don't know how their place kicking is because we haven't had a chance to see yet. I assume their scrum half is their kicker.
So it doesn't look like CRC has a T to use, and I think that...
Looks like it's, yeah.
What I would think that you would do is just have him drop kick, but it sounded like he said hold it, as if...
Yeah, one of the
like
players can, like, hold it as if, like, the person is being the T. Well, you don't have to have a T. You can use a T. Somebody can hold it. You can drop kick it. Or technically, I don't know if there's anyone who actually does this, but just random piece of trivia, you're actually allowed to kick it off the top of a pile of sand.
Right, they used to do that back in the old days. They would bring the pail of sand out, make a little sand tee, and kick it off of that, but I don't think a sand tee would have helped that kicker. He kicked it from about the 5 and missed it under the post, so.
You should try kicking off a sand sometime. That'd be interesting.
Marcus Broussard hits the CRC player who received the kick, but doesn't bring him down, but does slow him up enough to bring him down, and now CRC's completely run away from support. Lions need to poach it, but CRC quickly picks it.
They're running along the sideline, and it goes into touch. So it'll be the Lions line out there, where CRC went into touch.
We got about 7 minutes left in the game.
Okay.
Score of 38-5, La Salette.
Yep.
And hopefully the Lions can tack on another try or two. Hugh O'Neill, I'm sorry, with a good take to keep that line out. It was strongly contested by CRC, and now the Lions swinging the ball out.
It's going to Sam Betts. He's run along the sideline. First CRC tackler can't get him, but the third one does. And they're trying to poach, and their big number 1 is able to poach.
CRC's really clumped up. Lions don't have to devote too much defense across the field, so they can focus on the forwards that they're going to inevitably use. Kenny Simmons with a nice tackle. And now they get it to their explosive wing, who lays Daniel Bergman on his back, but is brought down by Derwin Wilson and Ben Stafke.
And we've got a knock on, so scrum to the Lions. CRC is just not taking very good care of the ball today.
Sir resets the scrum. He wasn't happy with it. He's demonstrating the CRC props, how they need to hinge and get their hips low and their backs flat, because they're just really not very good at scrumming. If you look at the scrums, La Salette's low and flat, and they're just all kind of standing up almost straight.
Yeah. I was looking at their 8-man right now. Like, he's not supporting much of his own weight. He is just leaning completely into that scrum,
Which isn't going to
arched over.
That's not going to be a very strong scrum, because what the 8-man needs to do is pull the locks back, and the locks need to pull the front row back so that you can explode forwards.
Yeah.
Rylan Taw with a nice breakaway. Tries to juke out CRC, but there's not quite enough space and too many tacklers. But Braden Wall takes a crash, makes gain line again, and Rylan looks like his leg is cramping. He's doing what I was doing against Nequa, sitting on the side of the field, trying to loosen up your leg by stretching it out and not succeeding.
Yeah. But you managed to get it squared away.
Right.
Took a little bit.
Matthew Romero with a chip kick, but he gives it to the wing, and Sam Betts is unable to tackle him. Daniel Bergman's unable to tackle him, but Sam Betts gets him on the second time,
And he drops the ball.
gets him to drop the ball, so Lions are going to have the ball.
Yeah, that number 18 guy, he can dance around, but he doesn't get a whole lot of forward progress. And territory is what you want. And we've got a penalty awarded to the Lions. I didn't see the secondary signal, so I'm not sure what it's for. Daniel Bergman quick taps it, gives it to Braden Wall, and he's heading for the try zone to the middle.
Bill Dvorak in for the hat trick as well. So Bill Dvorak and Daniel Bergman both with 3 tries to their name today.
Yep.
That's the next level of being a forward. What you saw with Will there, most forwards, especially on B side, would have just taken that straight into the opposing forwards. He saw they were coming up, and he just kind of ran around them and ran right through a gap and got all the way in the middle to score that to put the Lions up 43-5.
Yep. Pretty easy kick positioning for Daniel Bergman here. And he's got it easily. right, so for a total score, that gets us, oh gosh, 45-5.
I believe about 10 minutes left to play in the game.
Yep. And CRC has another sub coming on. Seems like at this point, and honestly even at halftime, they kind of given up on winning and just trying to get everyone some time. Kick goes to Hugh O'Neill, but he knocked it on as he was catching it, I believe.
CRC is going to get a scrum inside of the Lions 22.
I think, not sure, is this the best offensive position they've had all game? Is this the first time they've been on offense in our 22?
No, I think they have gotten it. They have gotten it down right in the first half. I remember they got it down inside the 22, but I don't remember if they ever had a scrum with a set play.
Yeah. Well, besides the one time they scored a try, of course.
Right.
Looked like Salette was stealing the scrum, but something was going on there, so the Sir is calling for a reset.
Eight-man picks it. He's really fast.
Got their 13 playing 8-man right now. CRC is just outside the try zone, really trying to get it in. Tech. Braden Wall drives somebody back on a tackle pretty well. And CRC is just pounding it with their forwards, hoping that that's how they can score a try. They're just past the 5-meter. And they're sending it out to a back, number 12. He makes it to the try zone. We'll see if we can hold him up or not.
And it's held up. So great defensive effort by the Lions to hold it up and take the ball back, and that'll be the end of the game.
All right, so we end with a score of 45-5. Good win for the Lions, even when we're down by several players, and some pretty important players too. Ben Halligan is a pretty good scrum half for B-side, and then Vincent Boozing, of course, one of our pretty good forwards. In fact, he's played varsity for a lot of this season, but good win nonetheless. So we've got more exciting rugby stuff coming up. As I mentioned earlier, obviously we won't be able to broadcast this, but Seaside up in Elkhart, Indiana at the Midwest tournament. And then a week from now, we've got our last varsity regular season game. Shoot, I can't remember who is that against. Is that Naperville?
Yep.
So our last game of the season, very critical for determining how we end up in playoffs. We absolutely have to win Naperville, so we'll be bringing that to you next week. Hopefully you'll join us for that. We'll be up in Chicago, and we'll see you on Saturday.